Female firefighters in Halifax have faced systemic historic gender discrimination at work, according to a settlement involving the city, the Halifax Regional Fire and Emergency Service and former firefighter Liana Tessier. CBC News has learned the city plans to publicly apologize to Tessier during a media conference at the Nova Scotia Human Rights Commission on Monday. The resolution signals the end of a 12-year legal battle by 53-year-old Tessier, whose case was initially dismissed by the Commission in 2012. She took the Commission to court for mishandling her claim. The settlement coincided with a slew of sexual harassment allegations in Hollywood that sparked a broader conversation about women's treatment in the workplace. Violence against women is becoming front-page news now, and it's been going on for decades, and finally women are starting to speak out, said Tessier. Tessier has since moved on to another career and said she missed out on life as a firefighter. Stephanie Van Kampen/CBC. For years, Tessier and other female firefighters in Halifax have complained about demeaning and abusive behavior from their male co-workers and superiors. In her claim before the Commission, Tessier said when she reported the behavior, she faced retaliation and the harassment only got worse. Every woman who's ever spoken out, who's ever dared to tell the truth, has been destroyed, Tessier told CBC. You're attacked, you're hated. According to the settlement agreement, Tessier will receive an undisclosed amount of money and the city will make policy changes to ensure women can report discrimination without fear of retaliation. The city also promised to implement equitable hiring practices. Many of those changes have already been made. While the city doesn't acknowledge the specifics in Tessier's claim, it does admit there is a systemic issue within the fire service concerning the treatment of female firefighters. A spokesperson for the city refused to comment on this case because the Commission's work was not yet completed. Tessier was 34 years old when she began working as a volunteer firefighter in 1998 with Station 60 in Herring Cove, on the outskirts of Halifax. A few years later, she began picking up paid 24-hour shifts with the goal of becoming a professional firefighter. She rose to captain and devoted herself to instructing new recruits and skills competitions, eventually winning third place at the World Firefighter Championships in Nevada in 2007. Tessier won first place at the Canadian Scott Firefighting Championships in 2006. She also made the podium in national competitions in 2007, 2008, and 2005. Liana Tessier, in her claim, Tessier said she began to be bullied, ostracized and regularly had her equipment tampered with. She wasn't given a new uniform when they were ordered and then disciplined for not having appropriate clothing at work. She was gossiped about and alienated. It was death by 1,000 cuts, she told CBC. For some reason I started blaming myself. I worked harder, and the more I worked harder the more it seemed to be a threat to these guys. Tessier said she reached out to a number of groups and associations but could not find help.